Well, here it is, the very rare Hallicrafters PS-150-12 DC converter power supply. Converts 12 volts automotive voltage to high voltage for the SR-150 transceiver. 550 volts under load and 265 volts under load. Very rare. There was a lot of problems in here. It was all messed up. Someone had done stuff. But anyway, I've restored it back to the original condition because I had the manual, which shows how it should look. And this is how it should look. So this is set up for negative ground. This is the relay, which switches the positive side, as you can see, of the 12 volt input. And then the negative terminal is connected to that brown wire down there. That brown wire down there, which then routes over to this area here. And this is the center tap of the switching transformer. Now, why is it not in focus? Okay. So, to convert this to positive ground, you would take this white and red wire, which goes to the emitters of all the transistors, and you would connect that to the lower lug, the ground side, which is the which would then be positive 12 volts, and then the negative hot lead, which is switched to the relay, would then connect to the brown wire. So you basically switch the brown wire and the white-red wire, you switch them around from where they are now. And then you have a conversion to the positive ground. But anyway, now it's negative ground. But someone had connected grounds up here, and in an attempt to bypass some of the wiring to increase the voltage, so because there were voltage drops, but they had loose lugs and screws and everything. No wonder they had voltage drops and all kinds of problems. Anyway, it's all been tightened and it's working now properly the way it was designed. So that's the ferrite core high frequency transformer. Now I only have a 7 volt power supply right now with a rectifier, so I'm going to run this off 7 volts for demonstration purposes. The first relay, which is that one, is switched with this lead, and that's the on-off switch of the Hallicrafters radio. And that relay then connects the filament supply to the SR-150, and then also turns on the second relay, which then switches the high voltage directly, the 12 volts high current directly to the switching transistors, which is part of that power supply. The power supply section is floating, but the output is connected to the ground, and you have negative bias voltage plus 250 volts plus 550 volts. All right, now because I've only got 7 volts, I'm not going to get the full 550 volts output, high voltage obviously, and the frequency of oscillation will probably be a bit lower, probably 2 kilohertz instead of 5 kilohertz, which is what I estimate it would normally be. So let's just ground this lead, and that will start the relays and the inverter. There it goes, it's running. Got 370 volts on the high voltage side with 7 volts in. Showing this video for documentation purposes in case anyone wants to restore their unit. There's so little information on the World Wide Web regarding this unit, so it's important to document it. And these are the original germanium power transistors. 2N441s. From RCA. There are 2 sets in parallel. There's no stabilization resistors like in the base leads or anything. They're actually in parallel, like directly. Interesting. I guess they had very matched voltage drops. But the transistors are still good, so the power supply is still serviceable. Very rare.